Hello, everyone. For this week's social media advocacy post, I'd like to talk about something that's still ever evolving in today's world and society, and that is the concept of sexual identity for most individuals. Sexual identity is an important topic to discuss because the idea of coming out to friends and family is quite terrifying to some more than others. And I think that if more people showed their support for these individuals, that it'd be somewhat easier for them to make themselves known as homosexual, bisexual, lesbian, or anything else that they want to identify as. When I was younger, sexual identity was not mentioned around me a lot. So I'm still learning about it to this very day, even though I identify myself as a straight white male. And the more I learn and understand, I can add it to my psychology research. And if someone decides they want to come to me with a problem about their sexual identity, I can attempt to help them as much as I could or I can. I suppose one thing I'd like to talk about in this post is a coming out story that I was a part of as one of the main contributors towards the coming out to and its after effects. I'm just going to say now it didn't end well uh, because of the time it was. I first should mention the idea that the Kinsey reports, I had a lot to do with, I at least think, of how he decided to come out and to why he said that he likes that he's homosexual. Um, with Kinsey, his overall idea of sexual identity, he believed that when he interviewed most of the men in his reports, that they led him to believe they start off as heterosexuals, that they eventually straddle the line between heterosexual and homosexual, being bisexual, and then they finally became a homosexual. When I was a sophomore in high school, I guess I should start off with the story now. Uh, when I was a sophomore in high school, an old friend of mine came around. We hung out for a bit, causing chaos, such around town, average teenage. Hey, it's a Saturday night, that kind of stuff. And it was real fun. Then towards the end of the experience, he came out to me. You know, it was real surreal at the time because we just got done just like screwing around at the local Walmart and just talking around to some old high school friends we met up with. And on the way to drop me off, we pulled over, and he just said it. And like, I don't want to make it sound less than what it was, but like I said, when I was younger, I didn't really understand any of that stuff. I didn't really understand it until like my junior year of high school. But I was still supportive. I said, when he told me, he didn't know what to think. It was just a moment of silence for like 10 seconds, and then I said I supported him. It shocked him because I just didn't give him my support. I overwhelmingly gave it to him, and that I was proud of him for coming to me and telling me that information. But the bad thing was, I think that's what led him to the idea that with my support, that he thought he'd come out to his family. Well, um, that didn't work. He said he was homosexual due to the way his past relationships with females ended, and that integrative perspective of his relationships really showed that, hey, maybe dating women's not for me, or maybe I'll just give it one more shot, or maybe I'll just go be a homosexual. I think that, and that's how it was for many years. He told me he secretly dated like a lot of guys. That's my phone going off. Sorry about that. And when he came out to his family, it wasn't good. They kicked him out of his house. They kicked him out of their house. Um, he was homeless for a couple of days until he found a couch to crash on, and last I heard, he's cut them out of his life for good. And I think that's important to discuss. When someone comes out, there are going to be a multitude of feelings that can be shown towards them. Most of them you would think be good, but from what I've heard from a couple of my other friends who have come out there, that's not the case. And that it's really hard for them to to cut their parents, the people who birthed them, out of their life because they were just they were just toxic towards the idea. And I think that's what's stopping a lot of people today. It's like they're afraid. And that's not cool. That's not right, especially in an ever evolving society, uh where sorry, I lost my train. Where love is ever evolving, and that you should just love who you want to love. And that's you can't choose who you love. You can't. And if your soulmates with someone, that's who you're destined to be. It's who you're destined to be with. And I think that's nothing more beautiful than that, because it shows the bravery of someone who wants to come out and be themselves.